New year, new me. I think it's time we get it going.
It's a show by Chris and Neil with all great movies. They are the real deal. We watch them all, so you don't have to. It's movies that don't suck and some that do.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of all ages, welcome to a new episode of Movies That Don't Suck and Some Do. My name's Neil.
And I'm Chris.
And today we got two movies that we're going to review. The first week of the new year right now. Yeah. It's 2024. Yeah.
I didn't think we'd make it. I mean, I'm not saying about the show. I'm thinking about like all of us. But here we are.
Here we are having a good time.
Yep.
Nothing but a good time. How can I resist? You know? So now Chris is going to talk dirty to me.
First, we should talk about the movies that we're going to be talking about today.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. The two movies that we're going to be talking about today is two big ones that are out there that people are having a lot of back and forth on all of these movies. Right now, I'm not going to lie. It's like a war out there about these two movies. The first one is the R-rated or the PG-13 R-rated Star Wars movie by Zack Snyder, Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire, featuring the one and only Sophia Boutella.
Delphine, you are not as well disguised as you may think. I know who you are. You're Lorraine Broughton, MI6, and you're here because of the death of Gascoigne. What do you know about Gascoigne? Nothing. But if someone is killing Allied officers, shouldn't we all care? Whatever's in that list has people willing to kill for it.
Who else in this? Who else in this one? That was from Real
Atomic.
That's from Atomic Blonde, by the way. She was Atomic Blonde for a little bit.
What's going on?
The clip we played was from Atomic Blonde.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's it was so hard. She's been in so many movies, but she's always like a side character or a back character or like a kick-ass character that just doesn't talk. That was the most talking I could find of her in any movie that she was in a row. Also in this movie, you would know him from everything from Marvel movies to Blood Diamond
to Gran Turismo.
Oh yeah, Gran Turismo. Totally forgot about that. Jamin Hatsu.
The cows wait for you on Babu, the wild dog who wants no one but you. I know they made you do bad things, but you're not a bad boy. I am your father, who loves you. And you will come home with me and be my son again.
That's from Blood Diamond.
I know. I was like, man, I was gonna do the Star who? Star Lord for Guardians of the Galaxy, but I was like,
Star Lord.
No, let's go get a roll.
Yeah. But who else?
Oh my gosh. And also in this movie, Be-Du-Na. That's how you pronounce it.
Oh, you looked it up?
Last time we were here, we both felt trapped. You were afraid of going to prison. Now I miss it.
You wanted so badly to see your father.
And you felt like you were making a terrible mistake. We've switched places. Which means, in a way, we're in the same place. Is there a way out of this? Or is this just how life always feels?
So that's from Sense8.
I loved Sense8. That was one of my favorite shows. Like that. That's where everybody could use everybody else's abilities. and stuff like that. Ah, it's so cool. Did you watch Sense8?
I didn't watch Sensei. I do. I got so much shit to watch. It's stupid. I go upstairs. And
Yeah, well, I mean, that came out like 3 years ago.
I know.
So, I mean,
I got.
yeah.
It's
So anytime you have a chance, it is a cool little show, especially when they all start figuring it all out. Also in this movie is Francis himself, Ed Skrein.
But if you think superhuman powers are acquired painlessly, wrong. I'm injecting you with a serum that activates any mutant genes lurking in your DNA. For it to work, we need to subject you to extreme stress. You've heard the whole make an omelette break some eggs bit, right? But I'm about to hurt you, Wade. I was a patient here once myself, you know. The treatment affects everyone differently. It made Angel inhumanly strong. In my case, it enhanced my reflexes. Also scorched my nerve endings so I no longer feel pain. And in fact, I no longer feel anything.
It's from Deadpool, obviously. Deadpool.
Yes, because it's Francis.
Yes, Francis.
Ajax. That sounds made up.
I'll talk about his character when we get to this movie.
Dude, we'll talk about all that when we get to it. And the only, so good that he got a show for like 9 years that was based on a character of his. But one of my favorite characters from The Gentleman, Mr. Charlie Hunnam.
I don't build a joint like the Americans in the new school. Backstrapping, jockstrapping, coke wrapping, all that bollocks. I like a good old-fashioned 50-50 mix, me. That's how we used to play. There's one thing I will never understand, it's why you lot get addicted to heroin. There's one drug you should not chase. It is the dirty dragon. Did you ever give it a spin, Bunny?
No, not me, Ray. I don't even puff anymore.
Of course not. Bunny likes the gym. You can probably see that. What are you benching these days?
3 wheels aside.
What about you, Brown?
What about me? What could I lift?
You couldn't lift a wheel of cheese, you cunt.
From The Gentleman. Yeah. And
that is like one of my favorite characters in like all of cinema is Charlie Hunnam's character.
I remember I think 2 years ago when they came out, that was your #1 film of the year.
Yeah, dude, I freaking love that movie. I still to this day, it's like Snatch or The Boondock Saints to me. It's like one of those movies that I just can watch. Like I can watch it and then just start it over again.
It's a prime Guy Ritchie. So I mean.
Yeah, it's a good movie. All right. Then the second movie, of course, that everybody's been arguing about this week. And I'm telling you guys, if you go on the internet, these two movies are like the two movies. Everybody's on one side of the fence or the complete other on these. And this one is Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, facing the one, the only, the most beautiful man to probably ever walk the earth besides like what? He's right up there with like Ryan Reynolds, Johnny Depp. Like if you look in his eyes, he might be able to steal you. The one and only Jason Momoa.
But I did not come here because I thought I was worthy. I know I'm not. You understand me. I do.
No mortal has conversed with me since King Atlan. Who are you?
I'm nobody. I came because I had no choice. I came to save my home and the people that I loved. I came because the Trident is their only hope. And if that's not good enough, then screw you.
Yeah, from Aquaman. From the first Aquaman.
Yeah, of course I had to do the first Aquaman.
That's it.
All right. Also starring with him, playing his brother, the Ocean Master, the man who is now basically the master of horror because everything from Insidious to the complete Conjuring universe.
Whatever. What I said, I feel like
he's been in like 942 horror movies in the last 3 years. Mr. Patrick Wilson.
Everyone's white dad.
Father Gordon called. He's got a case he wants us to look into. I said I'd go check it out myself. Lorraine, myself.
I'm going with you. I know you're worried it's going to happen again.
Hey, I am. I really am. Maybe it's just time we take a break. Write that book.
Do you remember what you said to me on our wedding night?
Can we do it again?
After that. You said that God brought us together for a reason, right? I'm pretty sure it's not to write a book.
So yeah, that's from The Conjuring. I think the first one. The first one.
Yes, it is from the first Conjuring. You are correct. You know your movies, sir.
Yes, I do. I try.
And also in this movie, now let me see if I get this one correct. Yahiya Abdul Mateen II.
Is that right? I don't know.
Yep, that is correct.
Okay.
I'm listening to it right now.
All the explanation you need. Uh-oh. No. Whoa. What do you mean, no? You wanted this. You did this. This was your idea.
Yeah. It was a test. An experiment.
An experiment? You put me in a tiny motor, left me to bang my head till I nearly lost my searching for you as an experiment.
The exit's breaking down.
He hasn't taken the pill.
What? There's no time.
I know. He's having a moment.
Does he know how hard it was to hack that mirror?
Still open.
This can't be real.
So yeah, that's not Morpheus from Matrix. What the new one, Revolutions? What's it called?
Yes, that was Matrix Revolutions.
Yeah, he played Neo, he played Morpheus, but they could have just gotten Warren Fishburne to do it, right? Like it's like they fucked up somehow. We're like, okay.
Nobody would have cared.
Yeah.
Nobody cared. Also, one of my favorite comedians and actors, Mr. Randall Park.
Yes, I pee and poo.
So you have a butthole?
I've got a butthole, and it's working overtime.
You are awesome. You know, this is so weird. You are like the coolest guy. But a lot of people say that you're batshit crazy.
They're not wrong. I'm 31 years old. The fact that I'm running a country is a batshit crazy. Hey, what am I to do when 24 million people look to me as their leader, their God? What am I to do when my father's dying wish was for me to carry his torch?
So that's from The Interview. And Randall Park is
The Interview, the movie that got banned from the movie theater before it even got to theater. I love it. And then they put it out on streaming somewhere like right away. I think it was like the next day. It was on Netflix or something like that as soon as it got banned.
It's funny. Yeah, it's a funny movie.
Well, it's a very funny movie. It's where Eminem comes out gay.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
What? He goes, I thought it was pretty obvious. And then the last but not least, the one, the great, the only, she's been making movies since 1982. And
she's still gorgeous.
And Mrs. Nicole Kidman.
A girl can't live by psychoses alone.
It's the car, right? Chicks love the car.
What is it about the wrong kind of man? In grade school, it was guys with earrings. College, motorcycles, leather jackets. Now, black rubber.
Try fireman, less to take off.
I don't mind the work. Pity I can't see behind the mask.
We all wear masks.
My life's an open book. You read?
Yeah, it's from Batman Forever.
The greatest Batman movie of all time.
Now it's just weird that he's playing the saxophone in the background. It's like really just like he just wants to fuck Batman. And don't do that.
And then an old man comes and ruins it.
Yeah.
Because the next scene is Commissioner Gordon comes. So that's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Now, guys, if you've ever watched the podcast before, or listened to the podcast before, I always do a little segment at the end, a little spoiler that gives a bunch of the spoiler things. It's not that big this time, to be honest. I think I only got a few things because we'll talk about that when we talk about the movie.
But you guys want to get hold of us, right? We should talk about we're at moviesdon'tsuck.net. We're at facebook.com/moviesdon'tsuck podcast. We're on X at TS Podcast and Instagram at TS Podcast. We are on W2Mnet.com. That's W2Moviesnet.com. Find us there along with a bunch of other really cool podcasts. Next week we'll be talking to one of the main people as a guest for the best of 2023. Also, we're on patreon.com/moviesdon'tsuck. We're on in the Bonfire. Go to bonfire.com/moviesdon'tsuck. Something to do. You'll find shirts with our logo on it and our name and faces and other cool stuff Neil has made. And if you guys want to get a hold of us, we're at info@moviesdon'tsuck.net, moviesdon'tsuck.gmail.com. And wherever you find podcasts, you can find us, Movies Don't Suck, and Something to Do. Neil, are we talking about small business today?
Dude, we're going to talk about, so all the time we talk about our favorite, one of our favorite movie theaters, which is north in Kansas City. It's a legendary movie theater, Greenland Armor. We talk about the place.
It's my altar.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I was looking around town here where I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I found that we have something very similar to Screenland. It's called the Circle Cinema.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
I know about the Circle Cinema, absolutely.
Circle Cinema has been around since 1928. And it was across the Atlantic. It was a true neighborhood movie house with kids and families lined up to see the latest silent films, serials, and cartoons. Its location on Lewis and Avenue, just south of Admiral, right off of Route 66, has been there. And it went from 1928 to 1932. It is like one of the non-profit movie theaters.
Yeah.
So Circle Cinema's their mission is to use film to foster understanding and appreciation of the diversity of the human experience and to create community amongst the viewers and the restored historic Circle. As part of their meeting mission, they seek to provide a safe, welcoming, and exclusive environment where community members with diverse views and experiences can come together to enjoy films, events, and other programming. They have events all the time there. They have like screenings. Sundance Film always has some of their films played at this theater. It is like on the wall here. All these posters are autographed. Those are all from different premieres they had there. Like the new Nightmare one is signed by Wes Craven.
Yes.
I went up to it and just stared at it for like an hour once. I was just like, yeah, can I steal that? No. Okay.
So this place plays a lot of art house films, really.
Yes, a lot of art house films, but they do play the big name still. They'll have them in these little theaters, and the thing is, man, it's so comfortable and everybody's so nice.
Yeah.
It's just like everybody's so nice.
So when it comes to this place, including you can tell the people that run these places love movies, and so it's just like you're not there. They're there to bring a community together. And I'd like to go to Circle C next time I come to Tulsa just to experience that place in person because I know about it. And it's just, I mean, I'm sure you've seen many movies that I forced you to watch there. And,
so you can go see foreign films, you can go see artsy films, you can go see original filmmakers, Oklahoma filmmakers, including students. Literally, and you can go donate to them because they are a non-profit. They're not in here for the money. So literally you can find information about them at www.circlecinema.org, or you can go to Facebook. And on Facebook, it is facebook.com/Circle Cinema. Seriously, one of the most historic ones. They even have Outsiders viewings with the actors from the Outsiders. If you go look for them, it's great. Circle Cinema, go look them up. Go help out. Local cinema is still a thing. Please, if you don't help out our local cinema, help out your local cinema. Find your local cinemas that aren't major movie chains. Go support these old theaters.
Send them us. We'll talk about them.
Yeah, dude, and go see these guys. Go see a movie there. Yeah. Go see anything.
Go to the movies. And But you know, I think it's time to talk about. I think it's time to talk about a movie that wasn't in cinemas. It was on Netflix. We're talking about Rebel Moon Part 1, directed Part 1, Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire, directed by Zack Snyder. He's directed such things as 300, Dawn of the Dead, Justice League, the Snyder Cut, Army of the Dead, and Man of Steel, Sucker Punch, Watchmen, all that stuff. You guys don't know who Zack Snyder is? You don't watch comic movies like me and Neil do. This is written by Zack Snyder, Kurt Johnston, and Shea Hedden. This stars Sophia Boutella as Cora.
Delphine.
Also, Jimon Hansu as Titus.
The cows wait for you.
Ed Skrein as Atticus Noble.
But if you think superhuman powers are acquired painlessly...
Bae Duna as Nemesis.
Last time we were here, we both felt trapped.
Also, and finally, Charlie Hunnam as Kai.
I don't build a joint like the Americans in the new school.
This also stars Michael Huisman as Gunner, Ray Fisher as Darian Bloodaxe, Anthony Hopkins as the voice of Jimmy the Robot, and a bunch of other people. Oh, Carrie Elwes as the King. What's good? What's the storyline for this one?
When a peaceful settlement on the edge of a distant moon finds itself threatened by the armies of a tyrannical ruling force, Cora, a mysterious stranger living among the villagers, becomes their best hope for survival. Tasked with founding trained fighters who will unite with her in making an impossible stand against the mother world, Cora assembles a small band of warriors, outsiders, enskins, peasants, and orphans of war from different worlds who share a common need for redemption and revenge. As the shadow of the entire realm bears down on the unlikeliness of moons, a battle over the fate of the galaxy waged, and in the process, a new army of heroes is formed.
So Neil, I'm confused a little bit about this because I thought the new Star Wars movies should actually start with Star Wars at the beginning of it.
I would like to say that, but this was not Star Wars.
No, not at all. So the thing
and this is. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna just say one sentence or things, and we'll get deeper into it. But this is like Star Wars and Avatar if the lead characters are super uninteresting. That's what it is.
Now, I love that you gave the Avatar reference because that's the thing. Zack Snyder is one of the most, like, if you put on a Zack Snyder film, you know it's Zack Snyder.
Yeah, which is
besides Wes Anderson, I think he is the most visually known new director in the last couple decades.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you could tell it's a Zack Snyder film.
But that works to his detriment and benefit in this one, I think.
Yes. There are scenes in this movie that are just some of the most beautiful things that you've ever seen.
It's gorgeous.
Like, and characters that look great. Everything looked great. That there's some bad CG parts. I'm not going to talk about.
And also, he was also big on using slow mo and almost fucking everything, even parts that you don't need slow mo at. And there's, but there are also some really good.
Like here, this is right here.
Yeah.
This griffin looks, or I don't know if you call it a griffin or whatever. If he has a special name for it, but this is like literally looks beautiful. But then you get to the part where the guy's got tentacle porn going on. And like those just look so half-assy. I don't think I got the tentacle porn. Did I get the tentacle porn? No, but some of these visuals are just, look at this. The visuals are just to die for. Yeah. And yeah, I want to know more about these people back there. But the thing is, I want to know more about the people that are in the fucking movie, man.
This felt like a big montage. Like you just sit on bitch, I'm in. And the problem is, I don't think the characters, they didn't make them interesting enough for us, or didn't know them at all. I think the only character I found interesting was Darian Axe. You know, like,
and not just Darian Axe, but we don't get not once did they have to fight to get somebody to come with them.
No.
Like the general guy, Titus. He is like, I'm done with war. And she just goes, "Well, we're gonna go fight."
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not done with war.
He's like a bath and a beer and like sober up. He's like, okay, but like it was 2.5 hours, which I guess 2 hours 13 minutes. And I know there's an R-rated cut coming out whenever that be, but we talked about this before. When you make a movie and it goes out to the world, it shouldn't be good. We don't need a second cut for it to be good. We want to be good right when
No, and this is why Netflix probably got him, because Zack Snyder's really good at recutting things and making things better and stuff like that. So it gives people more streaming hours on their platform because now you got to go back and watch the next one.
Yeah, there's
the next one.
Yeah, the next one comes out in April. We'll be talking about that too. But and that I do see.
But the thing is, who are you going to remember in this movie?
Yeah, the thing is,
besides Korra and let's be honest, Nimitz, like
okay. Now I want to talk about Ed Screen's character, Atticus Noble, real quick. He reminded me of Hans Landa from Inglourious Basterds. I'm like, that's who that is, right? Like,
and it's like, instead of making people that kind of resemble Nazis like the Empire does, they just made Nazis.
Yeah, because they had the exact same hats. So you're like, okay, we get it. They're bad, right?
Yeah. Like they're like, where's that photo again? Like this is literally like that is a Nazi uniform.
Yeah.
If I've never seen one.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, we're gonna get like in Star Wars. Let's example, since that's one of the references we make.
Okay. There's obviously homages to it, like for example the cantina scene. Like, like exactly the same, but you know that that's an homage as opposed to like a ripoff, right? Like you would be able to tell that. Okay.
So okay. We'll go with Charles Hunnam and what's Charlie's Hunnam's character? Kai. All right, so Kai, we'll compare him to Han Solo, since Kai is basically their Han Solo, right?
Yeah.
They go to the place, and in Star Wars, they have a small, 3-sentence conversation, 5-sentence conversation in Star Wars, and you already know who Han Solo is.
Yeah, easy.
You're like, hey, we got this money, we'll double the money. And he's like, haven't you heard of my rig, dude? I'm like the fastest guy in town, bro. And then he has that little scene with Greedo that's less than 2 minutes long, and he can fight all day long who shot first or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know exactly who he is within 5 minutes of just visual dispretation. I had no idea who this guy was. I don't know if I should care about this character at all. And then it just seems like a certain point of the movie, they're like, oh, we need you to care about this character. So they just dump a bunch of information. And like,
there is a lot of talking in this. Too much talking for, like, we know who Korra is, but we don't care about her. That's the thing. There's so much exposition, so much.
They said that she was fighting for love.
Who gives a fuck, really? Like
somebody that she loves or something. Cool. How did they fall in love?
Yeah.
Why did they fall in love? When he died in front of her, which is part of the story, guys. It's not like I'm really spoiling.
Yeah, it's right at the beginning.
And how did he die in front of her? Where was it at? Was it in a battle? Yeah. Was it in a like beautifully wise, Zack Snyder makes things beautiful. Things are beautiful because his mom was a painter, his parents were artists, so I'm guessing that's where he got that from.
There are some genuinely good fight scenes in here, but also they're also kind of weird in the fact that there's slow-mo fucking all the time, which is cool when you're showing cool images, but again, like Neil was saying, we need a reason to care, and they don't give us one. You know?
You don't give us a reason to care about any of the people in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, literally, and like, by the time they're become a team or whatever at the end, I know nothing about any of them.
And the problem also is that there's a second one coming out. We'll have to watch it. And so they have the potential to right the wrongs, but it's already been filmed. It's done. So hopefully,
well, the way it says and the way that I've read is that the second film is going to fill in all those gaps.
Well, hopefully not so much talking that we got in this one, so much boring as fuck exposition that we got in this one. I I sat down and watched it, and I was like, I'm watching Star Wars, but not as good. I'm watching Avatar, but not as good. I'm watching all these all these tropes that show up in movies, in much better movies. Like Zack Snyder, he's supposed to be visionary. We saw that visionary in 300. That was a visionary movie. I'd never seen anything like that till that point.
But you know what? He didn't write 300. 300 was already a graphic novel that he just interpreted, and that was great. And wasn't there a second 300 too?
But he didn't do that one.
Yeah, but like they still try to do visually what he did in the first one. Yeah. Some of the best visuals ever in cinema. I am not going to take away from even Sucker Punch was great visuals, even though the movie was kind of weird as hell.
Not weird the way that fucking Poor Things is weird in the kind of like, this is a child like sexualizing these teenagers. That's what weird about Sucker Punch. It does look very good though.
It's a really weird movie. Yeah. I mean, the only movie I think that the only ones that have that are really good are the ones that he did that are just like they already had the plot there. Like 300.
I like Dawn of the Dead remake even.
Watchmen.
I like the Dawn of the Dead remake even. Like that one.
Yeah, Dawn of the Dead remake. Like I'm like the ones that he did that already had a story, but when he writes the story, man, it just gets weird or crazy. Like I think the best written story that he's done in like years it has to be the Justice League when he did the 4-hour one.
Yeah, and so the thing about Zack Snyder is that I do think he's up his own ass a little bit. Like he went to Netflix like, I have this idea, and they're like, here's a bunch of money. He's like,
you're Zack Snyder, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of Warner Brothers because they fuck me all the time.
Yeah, they don't make good Star Wars movies, so here's my Star Wars movie, and it's just not near as good. Like it's not near as
dude. You gotta throw. It's just no. What's the word I'm looking for? Disposition. Exposition. Thank you. I don't know why my brain just went. Brain fart. Exposition. There's no exposition. There's like
when there is, it's boring as fuck though. There's lots of talking.
Yes, it goes like this movie goes 105 miles an hour, then all of a sudden it just stops.
Yeah,
and it's like, here's all this.
Yeah,
and it's like, dude, you can tell it visually.
Yeah.
You can tell it visually. You don't just have to have a lady holding a horse in the moon.
Yeah.
And that's it. Tell more about the characters visually. Tell more like I said, like how George Lucas did with Han Solo. He told more in like 5 minutes, and we knew who that character was as soon as we saw that little 5 minutes than we did any of these characters in this fucking movie.
So for part 2, we need something substantial because this wasn't. It wasn't. It didn't do it for me, and I will say I like the Atticus Noble villain a lot, even though he's basically just a Nazi. And who doesn't dislike a Nazi, right? Right? You know what I mean?
And he does tentacle porn.
Yeah, he does tentacle porn, and who doesn't like tentacle porn? But yeah, it's weird. Like there also people that show up like Jim Malone's in this, but she's barely a part. I thought she's bigger than a lot of people in the fucking movie.
I'm sure we're gonna get more of the Anthony Hopkins robot.
Oh, we got to, right? Like he's got to be like essential part of the next one.
And it's like the robot had more story to it than any of the characters that we saw, and he was like on the screen like less than anybody, right?
Yeah, I do want to mention Stas Nair, who plays Tarok, basically the barbarian of the group. Like he was. Everyone's very fit too, I'm like I'm like, yeah, everyone's got a 6-pack and
Big Donna though. Oh my gosh, those fight scenes that she had were straight out of like a kung fu John Wick movie, man.
Yeah, that was.
So I mean, there are good points to this movie.
Yeah, the fight scenes are generally well done. They're exciting.
And if you don't think about it too hard and you don't give a damn about who any of the characters are. Then definitely you'll enjoy this. You'll enjoy this a lot more than most people did. Let's do some quotes and let's get this one out of here. That's quite impressive. What? The animal or the hunter? I want you all to make love for the harvest tonight. That's you. It's you, Chris. And listeners at home. To love or be loved is something I cannot be. I don't understand what you want. It's simple. I want it all. Sorry. That just reminds me of Nightmare on Elm Street when Freddy becomes Freddy. Anyway, I could kill you right now, and no one would even care. I'm going to tie you to a post and watch as you turn from a farm girl to a whore. Yeah, farm girl, whore. Nope. There's a difference between justice and revenge. It's the dawn of something better. Your friendship may be her savior. I will not allow another world to fall in our name. Maybe this ain't suicide after all. I don't know if I can read half of this. You know, I do in the dark too. You know, I watch the movies too in the dark too. You play your cards right, and you might make it out of here alive. They believed in their cause. What a better thing to die for than that. This would have been a beautiful place to die. Yep, that's it.
All right. My score in this is probably a 2.9. Like, again, the fight scenes are great. They need to anchor it to a better movie. Zack Snyder, dude, I'm glad you like your movies, but we need.
I'm glad you like your movies.
It just didn't do it for me. It was kind of lame. That's how I feel about it. Like, it was kind of lame. There were cool fight scenes to this, and it looks great. It's just that we need it anchored to a different movie. You know, like give me something that I care about. You know what? Part 2 might be really great, and it might make this first one worth it. You know, I'm holding out for that. But man, I didn't like it that much at all. But yeah, it's like a 2.9.
Dude, like seriously, I'm gonna go a little higher than you, and the only reason why is because I have some faith in it, and I did like the fight scenes a little. I love the visual fight scenes. I love the visuals of this movie, and I kind of get where they're going with some of the story of the characters a little bit. That's just because I can look at something and I can be like, okay, hopefully we get to learn more about that guy or this person or that clan or whatever, that moon, that world. But then I give it like a 3.2. Like it's, I think visually wise though, it didn't break me so well that I didn't care about the, the exposition of the characters until I noticed. Until it was very noticeable.
People are piling on this movie, and I kind of get it. But I think that people just kind of are turning against Zack Snyder because they're tired of him, I guess. I don't know why. He steps out of the shadows of a comic book film, and people are like, I'm going to pile on this guy. And I'm like, I guess, but it's not as bad as everyone's saying it is. It's just not very good.
It's not the most horrible thing that ever came off of the planet Earth. Like if I was at somebody's house and like, oh, we're gonna watch this,
but
I'll be like, all right, cool,
and
I won't be super excited about it.
What you might do is you might do Mystery Science Theater 3000 on it and just do that.
Oh my god, that'd be great.
All right, man. I'm on RottenTomatoes.com right now. What is the audience score for Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire?
I am going to guess if it's the audience score. I don't know. What's the name of the movie again?
Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire.
Okay. Then I'm going to have to guess that they gave it a 48.
All right. They gave it 60%, and there's a little audience says thing on it.
No, go for it.
You feel for Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire borrows heavily from other sci-fi stories it's still entertaining and often visually dazzling. Which, I pressed pause to get food, but I didn't really. It was easy to get through, I guess. It was still pretty long, but I did watch it, and yeah. All right, dude. What is the critic score for Rebel Moon Part 1: A Child of Fire?
Critic score is going to be low too. I think it's going to be like 33.
You're close, 24%.
Oh man! All right, what they say?
Rebel Moon Part 1: A Child of Fire proves Zack Snyder hasn't lost his visual flair, but eye candy isn't enough to offset a storyline made up of various sci-fi fantasy tropes. Yep, that's what you and I had. Like, we've seen this movie before, but just not.
We've seen a ton of movies, though.
Yeah, we have seen a ton of movies. I'm gonna read you a bad review and a good review. This is rough. This is from Johnny Oblinski in the New York Post. He says, like the Death Star obliterating planets, Zack Snyder is out to topple countless innocent genres. And this is from Daniel Rester of We Met Week. He says, a simple but entertaining sci-fi yarn that wears his influences on its sleeve. And, guys, we do know that Zack Snyder, he said it was, Star Wars, he's this shit. And that continuous scene is basically an homage to, the Mos Eisley one, we know that, and that's not a problem, but it just needs to contain interesting characters and maybe a little bit more original storylines in this, because I've seen this movie a million times before, done way better. If I'm trying to think of the most, I got a question for you. What is the most interesting sci-fi you've seen recently besides this one? Like one that was different.
I really don't think that was this interesting of a sci-fi. Ready Player One.
Okay. Well,
Ready Player One sci-fi.
I like The Creator too. The Creator's all right, right?
Creator. Creator is good too. Yeah. I haven't reviewed what movies we watched this year.
I know it takes a while.
So I can't remember.
But I'm thinking
on average we watch over 100 movies a year.
Actually, probably more than that. The ones we're going to talk about.
More than that, because we did the Panic Fest on top of it.
Yeah. Our Fifth Girl was a good sci-fi, but different. But yeah, this one it doesn't hit its mark. It looks great, and I have faith that the next one will be better. And I'll watch the R-rated cut that he puts out. But this one doesn't work for me, and whatever. I mean, it's just he's trying to make a franchise, and I don't know how much money he poured into it. I don't know how much money Netflix poured into it. Seems like a lot, and they're
gonna do a lot. They're gonna pour a lot more too, because there's 2 more sequels. I know there's supposed to be like side credits. Bae Donna's character is supposed to get like a side.
A spin-off maybe.
Spin-off. It's just like,
well, then make her more interesting if you can want to do that. Like, I did like her fight scene with the spider thing, but I want something more interesting than what we got. Whatever,
Mm-hmm.
Are you still pulling news, or are you good for me to go into it?
Yeah, I'm good to go. Let's go.
Let's do this.
This is the Movies Don't Suck and Some of Them News. I gotta read stuff to Chris because he's blind in both eyes.
It's true. But real quick, I want to say I got a new guitar this week. Did you see it?
No.
On Facebook?
You're not blind.
Did you see the Facebook?
You're blind.
I play guitar too. Did you see the guitar I got on Facebook?
What?
You see the new guitar I got on Facebook? I posted the picture.
The guitar you got on? No, I didn't see the guitar you got. I didn't see that. You'll have to show me that later.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sorry.
Not now. Later.
All right.
Later.
All right. Neil, what you got for me?
All right. Steven Yeun, also known as the famous Glenn, cannot be in the Thunderbolts movie anymore. The MCU Thunderbolts, which is the villains like the Red Hulk, U.S. Agent, Winter Soldier, a bunch of different. I can't remember the list altogether right now off the top of my head, but he was going to be Sentry in the new movie. He has pulled out. He says, sorry, but I have conflicts of scheduling now. But that's okay, because the MCU fans have voted, and they've already told the MCU who they want. And they want Alan Richardson, a.k.a. Reacher, a.k.a. Aquaman, a.k.a. Hawk from the Titans, Mr. Big Man himself from the Reacher series, which is like one of the most popular series on platforms right now. Literally, they want him to take his place, which is completely a different body type.
What would you have picked?
Than what Steven Yeun is. Huh?
Who would you have picked?
Oh, definitely go with Alan Richardson. I mean, if you're gonna get a superhero, he is like literally. He could be Batman. He could like literally go take pictures and look at the dude, man. Just go look at him. You'll be like, man,
he's a sexy man.
Is buff.
What's next, man?
Hey, for all you historians out there, people just want you to know that the snow in Wizard of Oz was 100%
asbestos.
Like. Asbestos. I was about to say the word, and I knew I was going to say asbestos. Asbestos was asbestos. So the famed poppy field scene was fake snow, made completely 100 out of it. It was incredibly dangerous. So now that we're talking about how people almost died filming Wizard of Oz, everybody guess what today is? It is the 85th anniversary of Wizard of the Oz.
Oh, yeah.
And you can go see Wizard of the Oz out at Fathom Events right now. So this month, if you want to go see the wonderful Wizard of Oz, you can literally look up at fathom.com and go look up and go take your family. I mean, did you ever see Wizard of Oz in the movie theater when you were younger?
No, I'm pretty sure I saw it on video like everyone else. But, I mean, it's a Wizard of Oz. I've seen it a million times, you know? A lot of people love that movie.
Right. I remember seeing it in the movie theater when I was a wee little lad.
Oh yeah, you're that old?
I can't remember. I can't remember how. Are you calling me skinny? That's awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have not been dieting, but I mean, I'm just saying. You know, my dinner today was.
Brahms. Dude, I miss Brahms. Brahms is far away from me, so.
Jordan Peele says his upcoming fourth film has to be the potential to be his favorite, given the success of his previous acclaimed movies. That's saying something.
Yeah.
Because Jordan Peele has had a great movie run with all his horror movies and stuff like, right?
Yeah, I'm excited to see his new one. I mean, I've liked all his films, generally, so.
Well, coming up next week, the good old man, I had these all in order. That's probably what happened, is the fact that I have so many different websites I had to go to get stories.
Yeah,
they probably all crashed
guys.
together.
It's a late week because of New Year's, you know, holidays and shit.
Yep. Jonathan Majors' first TV interview since guilty verdict and getting dropped by Marvel will air next week. He is doing an interview with ABC News. Jonathan Majors, will air next week. His interview with ABC News is unlikely to have a positive impact on his damaged career and reputation, but it remains to be seen. But that's okay, because you know what? We're moving on from Jonathan Majors.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. He's
because the new rumor is Coleman Domingo is going to be taking, and the thing is, they kind of look a little alike.
Yeah,
sort of.
I mean, Coleman Domingo is a good actor. Yeah, they could do Trader Carl.
And he's the first runner-up to be taken over
King
the Conqueror role.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, what is he going to bring to it? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a whole different.
Do you think they should refilm that scene from Loki and just put Coleman Domingo in there?
Which one? 1 or 2 or 3?
The first one.
The first season?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Everybody who hasn't seen the 9.5-hour movie Killers of the Flower Moon, one of the most annoying movies in the entire world.
You know what? You come down with annoying.
Definitely going to be in my top 5 worst.
Really? Okay, go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Probably, man. That movie sucks so bad. Anyway, the more I think about it.
All right, go on with your story.
Anyway, if you guys want to see it, hopefully you have Apple TV. Long you have Apple TV.
Oh yeah, it's going there, right?
because if you have Apple TV, you'll be going to see it on January 12th. Correct.
Okay.
And I'm going to redo this real quick.
Okay.
So just pause it for a second. I'm going to jump in and out because we're way off.
You'll be back, guys. We're having technical difficulties. And when we do a podcast, we should be up to date on like technology, but we just fucking aren't. And I don't have. Okay.
I'm back.
1,
2,
3,
5.
All right, we did it.
Yeah. We're just way off. Yeah. Like I'm going to say the next thing, and you're still quoting this instead, and it's like, no, I said that like 5 minutes ago, bro. What are you? Okay. Anyway, Spawn reboot nearing a make or break set area. Todd McFarlane's basically saying, "Hey, producer Jason Blum, it's time to shit or get off the pot." Because he wants to do it a Hollywood way, where you get people to fund it Hollywood way. But at this point now, he's just like, you know what? I'll look. I'm seeking outside investors.
Well, Jason Blum, like Blumhouse is known for making pretty decent movies on a low budget, you know? So, I mean, if he wants to pump money in Spawn, do it, because the first one doesn't hold up very well. Well, there's something strange. Like, the first Batman holds up really well. The first two, because it's practical effects, you know? But Batman and Robin doesn't really hold up. Neither does Batman Forever with its computer-generated scenes, but I would definitely want to see Spawn remade.
Oh, the CGI of the original Spawn is so bad. Garbage. Like, it's good. The practical makeup is good. Mm-hmm. Like when he's fighting Violator and John Ortman's but anytime they go down to hell, oh my God, it's like looking at Diablo, the video game now. Like the original Diablo. I don't mean like Diablo now. Yeah. Like, I mean the original one that we had to upload like with 6 discs onto the freaking IBM or whatever. And going, oh man, that was badass back in the day. It is not now. Yeah. Everybody's favorite star, Oscar winner from last year, Ke-Huy Quan, is getting another movie, star in a movie called With Love, an action movie from 87th North. Now, if I could get down there.
Is it called With Love?
It will star. It's Universal. David Lech and Kelly McCormick's 87th North make his feature director. Jonathan Espo will make his director debut with the movie after serving a second unit and stunt coordinator on projects as A Violent Night, Deadpool 2, Black Panther, John Wick 3. So the guy who did the action sequences for those movies is doing this movie with good old Short Round.
It's called With Love.
I mean, With Love.
Colin Short Round's back and he's ready to fuck. Right?
Oh my God.
No, Ke-Huy Quan's he's the shit.
Something's wrong with you. No, something's wrong with you. He's the shit. Whatever he does.
Yeah.
The studio Shout has bought up all of the Jim Henson properties.
Oh, so we're gonna like
so Labyrinth, Dark Crystal. What else do they own? They picked up something else too. I read it earlier. Because I was like really interested in this one. But the storybook. Was a storybook? Yeah. But they're gonna be re-releasing everything with special behind the scenes stuff. God, they got all the behind the scenes features.
So they're gonna get me buying DVDs again. Fucking A. Like, it's a problem.
But it's all digital. It's going across all digital platforms.
Okay, I'll watch that. Okay.
And be released out on February 6th. So on February 6th, take a look and see what you can find, because they got Behind the Labyrinth, The World of Dark Crystal. There's so many things that they are putting out there. Besides, I think I read 2 articles of the same thing, but I know there's other properties they got as long in the Jim Henson library, and they're redoing them. They're up 4K'ing them, they're gonna make them pretty. And you know what? Those are movies that are classics.
So
I mean,
they're like
one person our age that hasn't watched those movies.
So they're like the podcast after I edit it. So you're saying it like they're pretty and all that stuff. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I've heard some of the edits, and anyway, Holt McKinley wants you to know that David Fincher is in talks in returning to Mindhunter for a third season.
Oh, I bet you're excited about that.
Oh, dude, that's a great show. I mean, how can you not go wrong with that? I mean, that's like one of those shows you can just pop on any time and the world is a better place for it.
Oh, I get it. And Project Mayhem, in Death, you do have a name. His name is Robert Paulson.
His name is Robert Paulson. David Ayer says it's officially done. Don't ask anymore. It's not going to happen. We are not going to get a David Ayer Suicide Squad cut. Basically, Warner Brothers and them is totally basically them to bugger off that there's no way it's going to happen. So they won't let him get the rights. But man, if the guy wants to do it on his own, like if he wants to spend his own money and edit it the way he wants to edit it, why not?
There's the Suicide Squad, which is better than Suicide Squad. So, yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Topher Grace and Michelle Dockery is joining Mark Wahlberg in Mel Gibson's Lionsgate film called Flight Risk. It's where Wahlberg plays a pilot transporting an air marshal who's been tasked with accompanying a fugitive who's Topher Grace. Topher Grace is the fugitive to a trial as they cross the Alaskan wilderness. Tension soar and trust is tested as not everyone on board is who they seem.
You think Mark Wahlberg would be the U.S. Marshal in this one, but no, he's a pilot. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I saw an interview the other day where he's like, okay, so who you want to get playing, and he started saying names because there's an old guy and there's a kid, and he thought they're calling him to play the kid, and he's like, no, we can get blah blah blah, and they're like, dude, you're the old guy, and they're like, oh, he's like, we could get Gene Hackman. I just talked to Jack Nicholson the other day, and it's like, no, you're that part, bro.
Oh. Poor Mark.
Yeah, he had to figure out that he was no longer
young. That's okay.
The man he was once. Everybody wants to know what's happening after Late Night with Stephen Colbert. It's After Midnight with Taylor Tomlinson. Now, if you haven't heard of Taylor Tomlinson, she's a stand-up comedian, and she is funny as fuck.
Yeah, she's very funny.
She's the one who got the position, and starting January 16th on Tuesday, they will premiere. Her show will premiere right after the Stephen Colbert, and definitely go see it.
I hope.
I want to see that.
I hope people watch it. I like to have a women talk show host on it.
Remember the movie The Act?
Yeah.
Where the girl kills her mom after she made her be like a wheelchair kid.
Yeah.
Gypsy Rose is out of jail.
Yeah, no, she wanted. As far as I know, she wanted to go see the Can She Cheese Play in the hope to see Taylor Swift and meet her.
I mean, who doesn't want to meet Taylor Swift? We all want to meet Taylor Swift.
Maybe she'll be on this podcast. I'll ask her to come on.
Let's see here. Highest grossing Tahoe movie of all time is now recorded as Godzilla -1.
Good.
It is now the highest Japanese language movie of all time.
It's great. It's a great movie.
Can you think of another Japanese movie that it's all speaking Japanese?
I mean,
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
I'm thinking about the Miyazaki films, like
or is that Korean?
Spirited Away, but yeah.
Yeah, but those don't even come near it.
That's crazy. Okay, well, yeah, Godzilla -1 is a great movie. It's a good monster movie. Yeah.
It was a great monster movie. George Clooney and Brad Pitt are going to be returning in kind of what is a batshit screening kind of thing. They said it's basically a rated R Ocean's film with Brad Pitt and George Clooney, the two guys who are best friends. They've been playing pranks on each other. Have you heard of the pranks that George Clooney has pulled with Brad Pitt? Like where he got stationery that had said Brad Pitt's name, and he'd send other actors and like letters like, you sucked in that film. Like, why do you keep parking your car near mine? But I can't wait to see George Clooney will unite Brad Pitt, and the movie's called Wolves. George Clooney expressed admiration for John Watts, who's the director of the project. A really good movie, and the screening impressed its audience. So I can't wait. If it impressed the audience, that's awesome. And last but not least, Chris, do you know what happened 4 days ago?
It was the 1st of January.
Yes.
It was New Year's Day.
And you know what also happened?
What?
Mickey Mouse is now open domain. So guess what?
What's that? Oh. Okay. So
we already, from the same people that brought you Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, is already working. They're already filming on their Steamboat now. Steamboat Willie, Mickey and Minnie. So, beloved childhood characters Mickey and Minnie are now in the public domain, leading to a surge in horror movie adaptations. Not just one, but several are going to be coming out. A new horror movie version of Mickey Mouse known as Steamboat Willie will be depicted by the character as a sadistic ferry captain who terrorizes passengers. Fans have also taken to social media to react to Mickey's transformation to the horror icon, with some expressing weariness on other anticipations that it kind of portrays their childhood. But I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, guys, if you did not go see, it's on a Peacock, I believe it is now, Winnie Pooh, Blood and Honey. That is just a gory, shitty movie. That's literally all it is. It is not like it doesn't even make sense. Like, me and my wife were like, oh my God, is this going to ruin Winnie the Pooh? Because we both had, like, as kids, we had Winnie the Pooh stuffed animals growing up, right? Do you have a Winnie the Pooh growing up?
Yeah, I think I had a blankie.
See, there you go. And we're like, oh, is this going to ruin Winnie the Pooh for us? But it didn't, because it's so bad. and the characters look like they're like, what's the thing? They're mutated human animals, and they're cannibals. Or I don't know.
I heard it's terrible.
That's the news.
Okay, that's the news.
That's the news. Let's go. That is the Movies Don't Suck and Something News. I told you stuff. Chris now needs to hear it because he'll never get it outside of his brain.
All right, so we're ready to talk about our number 2 movie today. The second movie that's
Spider-Man.
This is actually Aquaman on the Lost Kingdom, directed by James Wan. James Wan's known for directing, Saw, the Conjuring movies, Insidious, M3gan, that sort of thing. All those horror films. And he also did the first Aquaman. He's also a writer, along with David Leslie Johnson Goldrick and Jason Momoa. This stars Jason Momoa as Arthur Curry, also known as Aquaman.
But I did not come here because I thought I was worthy.
Also, Patrick Wilson as King Orm.
Father Gordon called. He's got a case he wants us to look into. I said I'd go check it out myself.
Yahya Abdul-Mateen II plays Black Manta.
All the explanation you need.
Amber Heard is in this as Mira. Also, this stars Nicole Kidman as Atlanta.
A girl can't live by psychoses alone.
Dr. Randall Park, Randall Park does with Dr. Stephen Shin.
Yes, I pee and the poo. So you have a butthole.
Also, this stars Tamara Morrison as Tom Curry, Dolph Lundgren as King Nearest, Martin Short as Kingfish, and John Rhys Davies as Brian King. This stars, basically a lot of people in the first one. Neil, wants to read the storyline for Aquaman the Lost Kingdom.
Having failed to defeat Aquaman the first time, Black Manta, still driven by the need to avenge his father's death, will stop at nothing to take Aquaman down once and for all. This time, Black Manta is more formidable than ever before, wielding the power of the mythical Black Trident, which unleashes an ancient and malevolent force. To defeat him, Aquaman will turn to his imprisoned brother Orm, the former king of Atlantis, to forge an unlikely alliance. Together, they must set aside their differences in order to protect the kingdom and save Aquaman's family, the world, from irresistible destruction.
All right, Neil.
Climate change.
Yeah,
this whole movie's about climate change.
I was expecting Captain Planet to show up at any moment in this one. So this is Neil. I want to ask you a question. So you know about? Were you an Aquaman fan growing up, like Black Manta?
I mean, I liked Aquaman and the Super Friends. There are several good Aquaman stories, especially when he gets hateful and evil, and and he just wants to kill he doesn't even want to come up to the surface anymore, and he gets to the point where he hates surface dwellers. He would just he's just like, fuck you guys. You guys are ruining the planet. You guys are destroying it. I like that Aquaman. There are several Aquamans I do like. Now, before we jump in this, let's talk about why the movie ended up the way it did.
Okay, I want to hear that.
One, they were trying to take out, the whole movie is about family. Mm-hmm. Family.
Yeah.
Right? So the main character originally, besides Arthur in this movie, was not Ocean Master.
It was Mira.
It was Mirror. But then she went and pooped on someone's bed.
Yeah.
And got guilty for abusing her husband. So that was the first edit, and that's why they had to re-edit it, was because they had to try to take her down out of it, which then she became kind of a back character.
Yeah, but guys, just so you know, Mira is still in this. You see her; she has lines where her whole face fills the screen. She's in this, but she's like a very, very, very minor character.
And very quiet. She's in all the scenes, but she's quiet as hell.
Yeah,
she does not talk.
Because I'm sure that people watch
all
this.
her lines. So then they had to do reshoots to make the story to make sense again. And to me, because of that, you could kind of tell because of the editing and stuff like that. It kind of. But when we actually did get into the story. When we got into the story and we played it out, it reminded me of a lot of Thor and Loki.
I got that a little bit.
Yeah, with the Ocean Master and thing. And the thing is, by this time, and this is my issue with it. By this time, you would think Arthur, Aquaman, would be like, I'm the king of Atlantis. Now I have wisdom. I'm wise. I'm getting wiser. But they totally took Jason Momoa back to frat boy drinking pints of Guinness. And
I thought the pacing of this was really weird. Like they go from one scene to another. Like, for example, then a temple, then underground. Like, it just felt weird that it just didn't seem like it was put together the best it could have been. It was also, I didn't really like the first one, and I would say I probably like this one more than
the first one was over. It was kind of like the same with Hellboy, David Harper's Hellboy. It was where they just took 95 stories and slapped them in there, and they're like, we gotta tell you every important Aquaman story in this one movie because this is the only time we get it. Now, you guys have to understand this too. This is it. This is the end of the DCEU. This is the last movie of that universe, of Henry Cavill, of all that stuff. And I think pretty much at some point, this movie was supposed to be bigger to introduce the next Justice League movie or something like that. Mm-hmm. And so then they had to edit all down. Originally, it did like this. There was supposed to be Batman cameos in it. There were supposed to be Flash cameos. There was supposed to be so much more to this movie. I think finally it just came to the end that they're like, what do we do with this?
I guess let's just put it out.
Let's just edit. Let's edit as much as we can. I mean, it's already grossed more than all the flops of the year.
Yeah.
And even all the DC flops and the MCU flops. But beautifully, it was beautifully done. There's artwork in this movie, just like, I mean, James Wan does know how to shoot. I mean, there are scenes where it was just beautiful, but like, you know, the artistry, it looks like a comic book come to life. I mean, look at Black Manta. That looks like a comic book come to life.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what more I can say than that. Oh, went too far. But the best thing of the entire movie is we finally get Storm.
So,
and if you don't know who Storm is, guys, Storm is Aquaman's seahorse that he rides that you've seen in everything that ever makes fun of Aquaman.
So I thought this movie was pretty meh for me. I did like more than the first one, but I didn't like the first one. I now it's hard not to like Jason Momoa as anything he's in. That's obvious. Like you like Jason Momoa, you're gonna like this movie because, or you like at least his partner because it's Jason Momoa. He's one of the sexiest men who's ever lived. You don't want to see him wet. You're not a real person. It did seem a little put together. I'm sure that Mira had more parts in this than
No, I'm sure she had like a lot of speaking parts. I'm sure that there was a whole family, because the whole movie is about family.
Yeah. I really like Randall Park in this as Dr. Steven Shin.
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't like Randall Park? He's just so
I think there's more scenes too with Nicole Kidman and Curry, the lighthouse guy, too. But I think they took those out or drowned those down to try to make it more of the brothers movie and not the family movie.
I want to mention to you, by the way, I went and saw this at AMC, and they didn't play the Nicole Kidman like intro for this.
Really?
Yeah, but I talked to someone who went and saw Poor Things after this, and they were showing the Nicole Kidman intro. So I'm wondering if they didn't have her in this because she's already in the movie. You know, like
no, I saw her.
Yeah,
like at the beginning of it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I was possibly not paying attention at that point. But
maybe you're drunk.
Don't seem.
Did you have a beer?
I didn't have a beer. I actually was late for the I didn't do the previews and I didn't have time to grab anything. But yeah, this movie itself, it's another Aquaman movie, but like you said, it's the end of the line for the current iteration of the DCU. Where the next movie we get from the DC will be part of James
Superman
Gunn
Legacy.
Yeah,
that'd be James Gunn stuff.
And I don't think we don't have anything else Marvel or DC coming out this year, do we?
Marvel has the I think series. I think they have Echo coming out in like 2 weeks.
But that's on Disney Plus, not in theaters.
No, not in theaters. I don't think anybody has. I think everybody's chilling out for a minute because everybody's getting that comic book fatigue, and they're like, "Hey, if you want to go see comic books, just go to the streaming app."
Yeah.
But I will take a look right now. Yeah. But also, this movie, okay, I think it could have worked, but then at some point, I think they were just kind of like, it doesn't matter. Now James Gunn's here. He's taken over. None of these characters are coming back. Nobody that's in the movie's coming back. But
I mean, I know Jason Momoa is probably recast as something else, right? Like he's got
supposedly Lobo.
Okay.
Do you know who Lobo is?
No, but you'll let me know, right?
Yeah, right now I'll grab a picture. I'll grab the best picture that will be a representation of why they think he should be Lobo. But yeah, there's just like so many different things that that they obviously took, like, you know, at the end he goes, "I'm Aquaman," like, you know, like it looked like there's parts of it that they stole from like Black Panther. There's parts of it.
It felt a lot like Black Panther. I felt like, and it's I didn't know, like you said, that was kind of lame. I didn't really like this
because he was trying to share the technology that he found, that his place has with the world, so they could make the world a better place. You know, like it was. There's so much stuff that went on in this movie that is just like, man, this is all just thrown together. They just kind of. I think like basically at the end when they came back for the final reshoots and after James Gunn's already, you know, back in the seat. Oh, here's Lobo, by the way. Bam.
Oh, perfect. He'd be perfect for Lobo. Fucking.
But anyway, so I think basically they're like, you know what? Let's make it as doable as a movie as we can at this point.
Okay.
And Jason just have fun with it. And he did. He was on a motorcycle. He was drinking Guinness.
His guitars in the background.
Yeah, his guitars in the background. Like, there's so many different things that it was just like, dude, it just kept going and going. And like, there's so many. It was Jason Momoa.
Yeah,
and he has superpowers like he can talk to fish.
My favorite thing is that he's just Jason Momoa in this. like
he's just Jason Momoa in this movie.
But the problem is that's the problem if you're trying to make a distinctive superhero. It's just Jason Momoa though. like
literally, if you put a picture, where's it at? I think I have a picture of all of them.
Yeah.
And if you put this picture in front of somebody and said, "Hey, who's Aquaman?"
Yeah, we got Jason Momoa on the right. You'd say that guy, right?
No, but that's not who they would say.
No,
they would say
Patrick Wilson.
Ocean Master, Patrick Wilson is because blonde hair, blue eyes.
Oh, boom. Yeah.
It's actually a part of Aquaman's curse that he has on him that makes him blonde hair, blue eyes. It's part of his lore. It's like making the Joker and he just like wipes paint on his face.
So does that mean that the Aquaman that we have there's no really identity to him? He's just made Jason Momoa?
I think it's just Jason Momoa. And you know what? I'll give a thumbs up to the Jason Momoa movie. I'm not. It shouldn't even be called. It should have been Momoa and the Lost Kingdom. I mean, I love the effort they try to put into it. But like literally, it was just I don't. There's just so many. There's parts that made me laugh.
Mm-hmm.
There are parts where I was like, okay, that's kind of a cool little battle scene.
Just moving on.
Especially the Army of the Dead came out at one point, which obviously again just reminds me of like Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Or was it Ragnarok? When with Hela. Yeah. Okay. I always remember the Jeff Goldblum part, but and I always forget about the Hela part. But yeah, where they're sitting there fighting army of dead people with green power, misty stuff. And
I did like the sort of buddy comedy that Aquaman and King Orm had. I was kind of into that, but mostly I was just like, all right, yeah, whatever. That Randall Park is good, but. But then I was kind of mad on it. Like, I was like, it felt like it was.
We get,
huh? What's that?
Go ahead, continue.
It felt like a pretty standard comic book movie. Like, I knew it was coming. I knew it happened. Like, it just seemed pretty normal. And that's not what I wanted for my DC. But it's gonna,
It's not what you wanted.
But that's what I want. Are you ready for quotes?
Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
I'll tell you what I really want.
Really quick, what we were talking about earlier, we do have 3 Marvel movies coming out.
Oh.
I think maybe 3. Let me make sure it's 3. Well, 4. We got 4 big ones.
Coming out the theaters?
Madam Web.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, Madam Web, which looks really good. That actually looks pretty cool. That looks like it's a story.
Okay.
And because it's like a character nobody gives a shit, nobody knows about.
Yeah.
They're gonna do whatever the fuck they want with it. Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
July. Kraven the Hunter, August 30th. Venom 3, November 8th. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Okay, well, I'm excited for Kraven the Hunter for sure. That was like one of the bloodiest things I've ever seen. And then, I'm just waiting for the next movie. I will look forward to it.
And then Echo comes out January 10th. X-Men 97 comes out in the next 2 months. Agatha Coven of Chaos. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man comes out this year. Eyes of Wakanda and Marvel Zombies. It's all the Marvel TV shows. Now, so far, coming out in the DC universe, we have Joker Falaladu, which is the musical Joker with Lady Gaga in it. But the next one's, That's it. We get Joker. That's all we get in DC universe. You get Superman Legacy, July 11th, 2025. Batman Part 2, The Batman Part 2, October 3rd, 2025. Animated movie of The Watchmen is in 2024. Crisis on Infinite Earths, that's an animated movie. Yeah, everything DC, the only thing DC is literally the Joker.
Well, they'll be back and people will be excited for it. You know.
Yeah, Marvel's still going with some stuff, but they're kind of spreading it all out. And if you want to go watch it, you can go watch it on the shows. But quotes. They say everyone is good at something. Me, I talk to fish. I love that. Like he just like he just throws it out there. I talk to fish, man. Turns out I have a brother, and he's a total dickbag. Thank God for global warming. Yeah, probably not a good thing, I'm saying. Sometimes giving up is the most heroic thing that you can do. First, you sit on your brother's throne, then you steal his woman. Man, there is no shame in you. Did you bring water? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, no, actually, I drank it. What? Yeah, dude, it's kind of hot up there. I don't know if you knew that. This guy just put a gun to the world's head and pulled the trigger without making any demands. I never draw this blade unless it tastes blood. Pray I never draw it in front of you again. Especially how easy I kicked your ass with no prep at all. No prep time at all. That's obviously a Batman kick.
Yeah.
No one hits my brother but me. My God, what did we do? Nothing. The world wasn't already doing. We just fast forwarded a couple of years. You picked the wrong day to grow a spine. My internal fight has ended. Together we can write the next chapter in our story. And it's not ending here. And of course, I'm Aquaman.
All right, what's your score in this one?
3.5. And the reason why, it's because I know where they got some of the story from, so I kind of knew what was going on there. And for them to fix this enough to be a watchable movie out of all the shit. How many years have they been working on this? 2 years now? They announced this the day of the first movie release. The first Aquaman. And this is the other reason, too. This is the only, besides the Batman movies back in the day from Christopher Fuck Everything Up Nolan and, Tim Burton, this is the old, and the Superman from the 70s. In this era, this is the only direct sequel. You don't need to know about anything else. You don't need to go watch Justice League or go watch, the Superman, Batman movies or anything like the MCU where you got to watch 9 movies to figure out what the fuck is going on right from the get-go, or DCU where a lot of them are all connected too, like Dawn of Justice, Wonder Woman, blah, blah, blah. So having that, you can literally go watch Aquaman and right after watch Aquaman Lost Kingdom. And it's the only 2 comic book movies, I think, in the last 2 decades that are that are actually just sequels.
Okay. All right. I'm giving this a 3.2. I was kind of mad on this one. I didn't like the first one. Didn't like the second one. The only thing I really like about it is Jason Momoa.
Dude, it's Momoa and the Lost Kingdom. That's what it should be called. From now on, this is not Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. This is Momoa and the Lost Kingdom.
All right, are you ready to give quotes? I'm on Rotten Tomatoes.com now. What is the audience score for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom?
Your mama's flapjacks?
Not that.
No. Audience score, I think, is going to give it a 55 or something like that. I think it's going to be right in the middle.
81%.
81?
Yeah.
What?
Audience says, featuring stunning visual effects and plenty of action, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is a solid sequel with a positive message. No.
It does have a positive message.
Yeah, it was a global warming thing, right? What is the critic score on this one?
22.
35.
I knew the critics were going to tear it apart.
Critic consensus is Jason Momoa remains a capable and committed leading man, but even DC diehards may feel that Aquaman the Lost Kingdom sticks to familiar waters. So I'll give you a bad review and a good review. Okay, so this is from Victoria looks for City AM. She says, as jumbled as the universe it exists in, and a reminder of why there's a need for DC to start afresh. Okay. And this is from David Griffiths of Subculture Entertainment. He says, like John Carter and Green Lantern before it, this is a DC film that might be pummeled by some critics, but it's going to be classed as an underrated gem by true fans of the DC universe. Okay. So guys,
I can see that.
So guys, Neil has a few spoilers. I'm gonna play the outro. Next week we'll be back with the best of 2023. And we're looking forward to that. But until then, we'll see you guys on the 10th.
Wait. Next week we'll be back with the best and the worst of 2023.
Oh, yeah, best and worst, yeah.
Also co-starring on the episode with us will be Mark
Radlich, yeah.
Yeah, Mark Radlich. He's the one that helps us over at WTM.net. Is that it?
No, W2Mnet.com.
Net.com, sorry. W2Mnet.com. I just put in W2 and it just pops up on my browser.
Yeah.
So, but that's also where a lot of our podcasters are at. You can go out there and check some podcasts, stuff like that. So check us out, and we'll be back here next week. Now is time for the spoiler. Play that outro. All right, yeah. So like every one that we have with good old comic books, I did do a little deep dive in some of the stuff. Now, first, let's talk about the most important part of this movie. Storm the Seahorse has finally come to be. I mean, this is like Batman finally having the Batmobile on freaking TV for the first time. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm glad that they took the time, the money, the energy. They added him in there. Of course, everybody has everything from the costumes you can get with the inflatable seahorse to, you know, seeing the mockery memes from the show from the 1970s. It is a big part of Aquaman Legion, so I thought that was just awesome.
Yeah.
Threw him in there.
Yeah.
Black Manta, we all know, is David Kane. He first appeared in Aquaman number 35 in 1967, where Arthur marries Mara, and they have a son named Arthur Jr., just like in the comics. That's the new outfit that Black Manta is wearing is shot for shot the outfit from the original Black Manta.
Oh, wow.
So in the first movie, he was like all padded and he looked like all like he was wearing armor and stuff like that. This, he was slick, smooth. Why are you getting naked?
I'm just taking off my sweater. Sorry, go ahead.
That's weird. If you notice, Guinness was everywhere because it's Jason Momoa's favorite beer.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like product placement.
Yeah, product placement. Well, because he has his own beer. He has his own Guinness.
Oh, he does. I didn't know that.
There's a Momoa Guinness that you can go buy.
I'm gonna get it.
Last night I was drinking the Guinness Jameson.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's probably why I have a hangover, because I did a few shots of that. It was good stuff. Randall
Park.
Let's see. Wait a minute. First, the Galaxy Broadcast Communications, you see GBC everywhere. That's a major news network that was in the DCEU, like literally when General Zod came and all that stuff. And Spider-Man, that was actually from, that's how you can tell it's all still connected to the DCEU. Randall Park plays Dr. Stephen Shin. Now, this is funny because in the comic books, which was he was in 2011's Aquaman Volume 7, number 2. In the comic book, he was a good guy that became a bad guy. He was Arthur's buddy.
Okay, but in this one, he's a bad guy.
In this one, he was a bad guy that they turned to a good guy.
Yeah.
But the same reasoning. Isn't that hilarious? Like the exact same reasoning that he's just obsessed with Atlantis and he just wants to go to Atlantis. Or Calcum, the stuff that they're trying to get the material. In fact, in many ancient texts, like stories of Atlantis by like this is original. This is a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Orichalcum is a real thing in mythical history. It's Platos who wrote the stories about Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
Many
Plato, yeah.
You know, whenever BC or whatever.
Yeah.
It was a substance that he said was only second to gold, and that it was only in Atlantis. Only Atlantis has it, but nobody could find Atlantis, so you know. And as you can tell, orichalcum was just basically a super duper oil,
mm-hmm.
and it was a representation of oil, obviously, with the green smoke and all that stuff. Right?
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I like it.
Orichalcum in the comic books was created by the deserters, the creatures that we see in the desert.
Yeah,
the Go-Go Social Mesh. Those guys were the actual originators of the orichalcum, not the guys who live in the desert.
Okay.
Yeah, so they got the guys are in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're like, oh, there they are. Boom, boom, boom. Now the trident that Black Manta goes to get, that big trident that he gets, is actually supposed to be the same powerfulness of King Atlanta's trident. So if they were to go against each other, they would actually just bing and fall down, or destroy each other.
Yeah, one of the two. Yeah.
It would not shatter like he threw it, in, like he did in a thing, which I thought was cool. Great visual.
I was thinking fucking Robin Hood.
Yeah, exactly. Corodox, the bad guy, the big, huge villain that. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing I didn't like about this. It's like, if you're making it so Black Manta is getting his revenge, cool. But like 5 minutes in, it's not Black Manta getting his revenge anymore. All of a sudden, he's possessed.
Yeah.
And it's not Black Manta now. It's this demon guy.
What's up with that?
It's not even. Yeah, it was like, okay, so Black Manta is a secondary villain again.
Yeah.
All right. Corodox was introduced in 1990 in Atlantis Chronicles number 4. He was related to King Atlian, and like in the movie, but he was part of the Corodox curse, where you get blonde hair and can talk to fish.
What curse that is, right?
It's very rare. That's why people thought Aquaman was cursed with it when he had his abilities, but he was not, of course. Unlike the movie, Corodox is not the leader of the city of Nikros. That is actually another Aquaman villain named Mongo, who appeared in Aquaman number 35 in 1961. He was a lot like Ocean Master, but I'm guessing, putting two villains that are exactly the same in two movies. That's like putting Joker and then the next movie you put in Toy Man.
Yeah. Volca, William Dafoe's character was only getting. Did you hear that? He just died, from the plague. Yeah, the plague. That's it. Yeah.
Now, the oldest sidekick in all of Aquaman lore made his screen debut as well, and that's Topa, the octopus that they kept.
Yeah,
communicating through.
A very cute octopus.
He did not appear in an Aquaman comic book first. He appeared in Action Comics.
Oh wow,
number 229 in 1956.
Wow, Okay.
So that little, like, he was everywhere in the, if you go back and look at old Aquaman comic books, that octopus is like fucking everywhere with him back in the day. The comic they took this story from, or at least it has a good reflection of, is Adventure Comics Volume 1, number 452. In the comic book, Black Manta kidnaps Aquaman's son and makes him and his sidekick, Aqualad, fight to the death to save his son's life. Now, in this, they just kind of like flipped Aqualad for Ocean Master. But in the movie where we saw, Ocean Master take place of Aqualad after he was possessed by Corodox, he would have then had to kill his brother to save his baby in the planet in the comic. But in the comic, it doesn't matter. He kills the baby anyway. Arthur Jr. just dies.
Really? So they Disney-fied this up for us. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the way it is. That's it, man. There wasn't much. They, like I said, I could tell the story was from there. They did some great references to the Aquaman of old, putting Storm and Toga in there and stuff like that. They did some good stuff, trying to pay some homage to the Aquaman character. But let's just be honest. Again, this was Momoa in the Lost Kingdom.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it, guys, for this episode. Next Wednesday, we'll be back at 6:30 with Mark Radovich. We'll be talking about our top 10.
Top of 2023.
Top 10, 5 honorable mentions, and 5 worst with Mark Radovich. It's going to be a fun episode. I'm excited for it. I know Neil's excited for it. I know Mark's excited for it. So we're doing this. You can find us online, moviesonsuck.net. We're at w2mnet.com. That's W2M is in moviesnet.com. You'll find us there along with a bunch of other really cool podcasts. We're also on X at MTS Podcast. We're on Instagram at MTS Podcast. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/Movies Podcast. We're at Patreon, patreon.com/Movies We're at Dawnfire. Movies on Suck and something new. You'll find our shirts there along with stuff Neil's made. We're also anywhere you find podcasts. You can find podcasts. Find Movies on Suck and something new. Neil, what do you do for small businesses? Yeah. Okay, there you go.
If you have small businesses, then give us that information. Send it right over to us. We'd be more than happy to promote you right here on the podcast. There are thousands of listeners or millions of followers right here at Movies That Suck and Something to Do.
You ready to get out here?
Let's do it. That's another episode of Movies That Suck and Some Do. My name's Neil.
I'm Chris.
And remember, guys, no matter how high the tide, remember, you can all find love if you just find the best fish that can fit. Have a good night.